Hi everyone, doing some self-care today, about 30 minutes. Taking the time just for you. So go ahead and find a comfortable spot on the ground and just breathe. Let your body be however it wants to be. Feeling the back of your body down on the ground. Feeling the ground, the earth underneath you, supporting you, holding you, lifting you up. If you can, let your arms open to the side and let your palms turn towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Just letting your body feel open and relaxed and calm. Filling your body with air as you inhale, letting everything go as you exhale. You can follow along with the different stretches, the different movements that I'll be doing, or you can just be. You can just lay on the ground if that is all you're feeling today, and that's fine. You do you. Close your eyes if you can. And gently let your knees fall side to side. Just a nice subtle shift side to side, rock side to side. And the shoulders open as you do. Letting the pelvis move, letting the hips move a little bit. Just about loosening things up in the body. Walk your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees fall together if that feels okay. If you feel too unaligned, go ahead and adjust. You can let your knees fall to the left. Turn your head to the right if that feels okay. You can have that right arm long on the ground. And then let your knees fall to the right. Turn your head to the left. You can extend that left arm long on the ground if you want as well. We're going to come back to this one with a little deeper of a stretch. You can let the opposite hip be lifted. And again, letting your knees fall side to side just a little faster this time. Again, just loosening up within the hips. We tend to hold a lot of emotion in our hips, so the looser we can be, the more we can work those out, the better it will be for our well-being. Go ahead and bring the bottoms of your feet together, let your knees open wide and low butterfly stretch. If you need something underneath your knees, go ahead and hit pause and just grab something to put underneath so it's not as much of a strain. I'm going to have the abs engaged a little bit here just so your pelvis does not tilt forward and you don't arch your back. So those low abs are lifting and zipping up the front of the body, even as we're relaxing and being calm. You can have your arms open to the side. You can have a little elbow bend, goalpost arms, just opening up the chest as well as opening up the hips and the legs. Widen the collarbone. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Use those abs, engage them a little deeper to bring your knees back together. Hug your right leg in, take your left leg long on the ground. Just hold that right leg in for a minute. Point and flex those feet, rotate the ankles if you need. And then let that right leg cross the midline, get a twist in the spine, a little stretch in the hip. You can keep that right leg bent. You can straighten that right leg to the side. You can extend the right arm on the ground and turn your head to the right. Twisting the body. When you're ready, come back to the center. Open up that right knee to a somewhat of a figure four stretch with that bottom leg straight initially. And if you want to go deeper, you can bend that left leg in. You can keep your left foot on the ground, or you can hug your legs in towards you like I am. Flexing that right foot will help protect your right knee. Deep inhales, deep exhales all throughout our class today, but especially when we're stretching. If you need more or less time in a stretch, feel free to adjust. Release that right leg long onto the ground for that right hip flexor lengthening and opening, and then hug that left leg in. And pause here with that left leg hugged in. Feel the length on the right side of your body. Let that left leg cross the midline, turning your head to the left, extending the left arm on the ground if it feels okay. You can let your left leg be further down if you want more of a twist. If you want more of a stretch, then you will imagine that your left hip is reaching towards the ground as your left leg crosses and reaches towards the other side of your body. Coming back to the center and taking that figure 4 stretch with that left leg crossed over the right thigh. Trying to have the hips be as even as they can be, maintaining your alignment. The core is engaged a tiny bit here, just to help with that stability in the pelvis, which will help with your alignment. Breathing, inhaling, exhaling, making sure that you're getting deep breaths as well, as opposed to shallow chest breaths. If you would like, you can bend that right leg and gently pull the legs in to get a little deeper stretch. Feeling the back of your neck nice and long too. Make sure there's no tension back there. Releasing that stretch, shake the legs out a little bit, and just straighten one leg, a little hamstring stretch, and straighten the other. I'll do more of a hamstring stretch. Hold on to that right leg. Gently pull the leg towards you, lengthening in the back of that leg. You can bend to release and stretch long to get back into it. And we'll switch sides. Right leg down, left leg up, and just getting a little hamstring stretch. Back of the leg stretch. Releasing when you're ready. Hug both knees in, rock side to side a bit. Opening up that low back. Take your feet down to the ground, take your arms overhead, and then give yourself a hug. Let your body relax. Legs can be wherever you want them to be. And open your arms, unfold your arms to the side, reach back up to the ceiling, and then opposite arm on top. Giving yourself another hug. Really hold on to yourself too. releasing your arms. Take your hands to your pelvis, to your hips. Just feeling the stability there. Feeling the connection to the ground, the connection to the earth. Breathing long and wide and full breaths. Take your right hand to your chest, to your heart. Have your left hand can stay on your pelvis. It can be more on your stomach, wherever you feel comfortable. Just breathe into both areas. Your arms can be relaxed in this position. Nothing needs to be held. Just feeling the warmth of your hands, the weight of your hands on you. Checking in with your jaw. Make sure you're not holding tension. Let any of that tension go every time you exhale. A little modified hug, having your right hand towards your left shoulder, your left arm is wrapped around the rib cage. We're going to switch that hold. Your left hand is on your right shoulder and your right arm is wrapped around your rib cage. And let your arms stretch overhead. You can let your ribs open. You can let your back arch there if it feels good. And then reach those arms to the ceiling. You can let your shoulders be lifted here, circling the wrist a little bit. And then taking your arms down, taking the shoulders down. And take the hands behind your head. Super slow and super short. Just some curl ups of the upper body. Only doing 5. Just kind of checking in. Are my abs working? Are my ribs closed? Is my pelvis nice and still? Are my legs relaxed? Elbows wide. Just 1 or 2 more. And then rest down. Walk the feet as wide as the mat. Take your knees to the left again. Take your left foot on top of your right thigh and get a stretch along the right hip. That left foot is gently pressing the right leg down. We're opening up and we're stretching along that right side. So feeling that oppositional energy down the right hip, feeling length between the bottom of your right rib cage and your right hip on that side of your body. You can have your head turned towards the right, or you can have your head centered. When you're ready, release the left foot. Bring the knees back up center, use those abs, and then let your knees fall to the right. The right foot will go on top of the left thigh, gently pulling down even further to open up within that left hip to get a twist in the torso. Deep breaths. Make sure you're still breathing. Release that right foot. Use the abs. Lift the legs back center. We'll tuck and tilt the pelvis if it feels good, and then bring both legs in towards you. Curl the head up. Come into a little ball shape. Take that side to side rock again. And then rest the head down. You're going to turn onto your right side. We're going to get up in a moment, but just hang out on the right side for a minute. We're about halfway through. Use your hands to help yourself sit all the way up. Bring your legs in front of you. You're going to take the right leg on top of the left, have the right ankle over the left knee, and vice versa. Flex those feet. Keep your butt down. Lean forward. You can be flat back. You can have your arms, your forearms on your top leg. You can be rounded in your spine. You can take your hands forward and walk your hands forward, but keep your butt down and enjoy that stretch. We're getting into the hips, a little bit into the back as well. Let the head go forward if you would like, if it feels good. Find a spot where it feels that needed for your body to be, for your torso to be. And just breathe in that spot. Come on up when you're ready, and then switch sides. Left leg on top of right. If your legs don't fully connect, that's okay. You can place a blanket or a towel or something between your legs so that you can relax them. Try to have the hips and the pelvis be level and even, and then take a little lean forward. Flat back, rounded spine, whatever you need. Try both. When you're ready, walk your hands forward. Walk yourself back in when you're ready. And then undo the legs. You're going to bring both legs over to your right side. The right leg on top, left leg underneath. If you need to stagger the legs, you can do that. And walk your left hand out. Bend your left elbow and take a side stretch. Kind of a sloppy version of a side stretch, but really about opening up that top side. You're going to rotate the torso down towards the ground to get a little twist, and then you're going to open your body towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Reach the arm behind to get a bigger stretch. Then reverse that, come back to the side, and then coming back up, and we'll switch sides to a little mermaid stretch. So legs are to the left, left leg on top, right elbow down. Stretch that left arm overhead. Keep the abs engaged. Try to be flat in the torso initially. You want shoulder over elbow. You're going to rotate down, reach that left arm long, or you can have it on the ground, but also reaching long to get a stretch along the left side of the back. And then open to the sky. Bring that left arm back overhead when you're ready to return to the side. And then coming up from there. Bring the legs in front of you. Take the arms overhead. Tilt the body to the left. More of a traditional side stretch now. Walk the hands out. Right arm overhead, space between the ear and the arm. Shoulders are down. Both butt cheeks are down too. And then we'll go to the other side, taking the right hand to the ground. Walk the right hand out if you need to. You can turn your head towards the ceiling if it feels good. Or to the ground, actually. Coming back up in the center. Interlace the fingers behind you. Opening the arms, opening the shoulders, stretching the back, stretching the chest. Looking up if it feels good. We're going to do this stretch at the very end also with the hands. You're going to take your hands behind you. You're going to have your fingertips face you. Knees are bent, feet are down. We're going to be on the forearms and elbows. Initially, just do a little lift of your pelvis and lower, and a little lift and lower. I'm going to come up on your hands now, and now we'll have fingertips face you. Try to be parallel, about shoulder distance apart. We'll lift a little further, and then lower down. We'll lift again. Shoulders are rolling back, neck is relaxed. If you feel good there, you can let your head go. If you're letting your head go, you have to bring your chin towards your chest before you lower down. If you need to, you can try walking your hands out a little bit more. You can turn your hands out too, so your fingertips face out. We're stretching the back, we're opening the front. And gently lower yourself down, take the legs long, take a little stretch forward. And do one more variation of that. We're going to do long legs now with this. If you had some troubles with legs bent, keep working on that. But if you feel ready to go one step further, arms are the same, fingertips towards you, palms are down, legs are long, and you're going to lift. One long line. Head should be in line with your spine. If you would like to let it go back a little further, you can carefully let it go back a little bit further, opening up the throat. Chin towards chest, and then gently lower it down. Take another stretch forward towards the feet. Release that stretch when you're ready. Come on to forearms and elbows and knees. Just do a couple little cat-cows. Getting more into the lower spine in this position. You can rotate the head a little and then come up to your hands and we'll do a fuller cat-cow. I'm going to take a circular motion right away, going side to side, as well as rounding and arching. Lots of opening movements. I'm going to tuck those toes under, push back into a down dog. Just feel the spine nice and long, feel the legs stretching nice and long. Abs are still engaged here, or abs are engaged here, I should say. Bend those knees, come on down. You're going to come all the way down, up on your forearms and elbows, legs are long behind you, tops of the feet are down. Be lifted in this arched position. You can let the head go forward to stretch the back of your neck. Otherwise, keep your chin lifted. Just enjoying this extension of the spine. Turn your head one way and then turn your head the other way, pushing down in the arms gently so that you're lifted in this position. Drop your head center. Take a little lift to the right, and then reverse. You'll drop center and take a little lift to the left. And then you're going to lift through center down to the right, lift through center down to the left, coming back, center. We'll rest down for a minute. You can have your forehead on top of your hands, rock your hips, rock your pelvis, loosen up that back. And just stay there for a moment. Feel the shoulders are away from your ears. Your neck is nice and long. Feeling the front of your body now, down on the mat. From the front of your hip bones connecting down. And your thighs, your hip flexors nice and long. Your elbows are nice and wide. Bending your knees, let your legs fall. Not yet, we're about to let our legs fall. Bend your knees and turn your legs out, turn out your thighs. And then the bottoms of your feet are going to come together. You're going to kind of look like a frog. Any of my dancer friends will know this, or any ballet dancers might know this. And yours will look different than mine. If it feels comfortable to have your ankles crossed, you can cross one ankle over the other, and then switching. We're opening up the hips, we're working turn out and rotation, just letting the thigh bones open and rotate within the hips. And then extend the legs a little bit away, the feet a little bit away, I should say. Keeping the knees bent and the legs turned out. A little rock the pelvis, it feels good. Just making sure that the pelvis is not arched, or I'm sorry, the pelvis is not tilted, and the back is not arched. You want it to be nice and flat, and nice and long in your spine. Lift your feet back up, and then bring your legs back together parallel. And then stretch those legs long. Rock the hips, rock the pelvis again. Kick the legs a little bit, kind of shaking them out. Test your abs. Make sure nothing else moves while those legs kick. A little circle of the legs. Again, just get some movement. It does not have to look like anything. It can be your lower leg that circles. And then rest those legs down. Rock the hips again. Bend the knees. This time let your feet fall to one side and then the other. So your hips are lifting as well. That opposite hip is lifting. When your legs go to the left, that right hip lifts, right side of the pelvis lifts, and vice versa. Pausing with the knees bent. Just relaxing. Straighten one leg down and then the other. Coming back parallel, about hip distance apart. Grab onto the top of your right foot, bending that right knee. Do a little quad stretch. Gently release, and then switching sides. You can feel like you're pushing your foot into your hand. Gently release. Tuck those toes under. Push yourself up. Come back to a child's pose stretch. Let your knees be wide and your feet be together if that feels okay. Imagine your hips are sinking down onto your heels. That low back is just lengthening, widening, stretching, opening. Continuing to breathe. Onto your forearms and your elbows, tuck your toes, and lift into a down dog from here. All my weight is on my arms and my feet. My head is not on the ground. My head is not taking any weight. It's all my arms and my legs. Make sure that your fists are not gripping. If this feels weird, you can stay in child's pose. You can do a traditional down dog with your hands. We're bending and straightening the legs, lifting and lowering the heels, whatever your body needs here. And then bend the knees to come down for a moment. Come up onto your hands, and then take a traditional down dog. Walking the feet in a little bit, and then walking your hands to your feet. You can let your butt hang back to get a little stretch. Let your head hang heavy, bending both knees. Gently stretching both legs long, shake the head out. Have your hands be touching something, either yourself or the ground. Bend your left knee, open your right arm towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and then if you can, turn your head towards that right hand. Bend both knees, take both hands down, and switch. Right knee bent, left arm long to the ceiling, head is towards the ceiling if you can. And then coming back center, clasp the fingers, reach those arms long overhead towards the ceiling or away from you. And then take the hands down, gently release that clasp as you take your hands behind you. Soften the knees, slowly, 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 round all the way up. Standing nice and tall, feeling the feet on the ground, feeling the legs long. Reach your arms to the ceiling. Bring your hands together at heart center. Just take a couple of breaths there. Your hips are nice and open, your pelvis is underneath you, your core is nice and strong, shoulders and shoulder blades are down, heart is open, face and neck are relaxed, and crown of the head is reaching tall. Lovely work, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.